What did Elizabeth I's Cleopatra and flappers wear in the 1920s? Visit fashion museums where every garment has a story. These are time machines that reveal how our society, milestones and progress have changed via every stitch and seam. The artefacts at these museums reveal ancient stories. Join us as we utilize fashion to showcase history. Did you ever think about when the first fashion museum opened? A lot of years ago, people thought about saving clothes and accessories for future generations. At first, these collections were kept secret by royalty or the wealthy to show off their wealth and style. People became more interested in trends over time. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, the first public fashion museums opened to show how styles changed over time and the art that went into making them. When they first opened, these museums didn't have many items, but now they have huge collections with things from old civilizations to the newest haute couture. They show how fashion has had a lasting effect, not just as a way to look good, but also as a mirror of society's values, new ideas, and hopes. There are a few well-known names that come to mind right away when we talk about fashion museums. You could look at the Costume Institute at New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's a treasure chest with more than 35,000 costumes and accessories from over 300 years and 5 countries. The museum at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City shows both new and interesting fashion from the 18th century to the present. Also, who could forget the Victoria and Albert Museum in London? From the fancy dresses of the 1600s to the most cutting-edge styles of today, its fashion gallery takes us on a trip. These and many other places around the world honor the beauty, craftsmanship, and history of fashion. Fashion fans and fashion scholars should both go there. Going into a fashion museum is like going into a world where time stops. There are areas that are just for historical costumes, where you can be amazed by the beautiful designs of Roman dresses or the lavish fabrics of Victorian gowns. Then there are sections that focus on modern fashion, showing off the skills of modern designers and the trends that have made our clothing what it is today. Thematic exhibitions might look into things like how technology affects fashion, or how fashion is linked to politics or social groups. Also, don't forget the textiles and accessories. These include everything from fancy jewellery, from old times to modern shoes and handbags that are out of the ordinary. The great thing about these museums is that they change their displays all the time. So every time you go, you can see something new and interesting. In a fashion museum, the mesmerizing displays and well-thought-out arrangements are made by a team of hard-working pros, led by designers. But what does a museum curator really do? For organizers, telling stories is what they do. They choose pieces that show how fashion has changed over time, making sure that every outfit or item has a story to tell. Curators play a big role in shaping our experience. They get new items, make sure they come from real places, and choose how to show them. They are also in charge of taking care of the collections and making sure that fragile fabrics and old clothes are kept safe for future generations. Their knowledge and love for what they do bring the museum to life and turn every exhibit into a trip of discovery. Around the world, fashion weeks show us what the next big thing in fashion will be. Fashion museums, on the other hand, focus on the past. But how do they stack up? Fashion weeks are always changing, showing off the newest styles and predicting what will be popular in the future. They're a creative storm where designers show what they have in mind for the coming season. On the other hand, fashion museums are better for taking time to think. They make us stop and respect the skill, artistry, and cultural significance of clothes from different times. Both are important for knowing and enjoying fashion. Fashion weeks set the tone for what's to come, but fashion museums show us where we've been and ground the industry in its long past. These days, fashion museums aren't just limited to their actual locations. Many have turned to technology to give guests a more immersive and interactive experience. Imagine being able to visit a museum from the comfort of your own home with virtual tours or using augmented reality headsets to learn more about the past of a certain piece of clothing. Now, interactive displays can show how clothes were made, what materials were used, and how they fit into different cultures. Some museums even have apps that let you have your own personal tour guide and hear stories and fun facts as you look at the exhibits. The combination of fashion and technology is changing how we see and learn about fashion, making it available to people all over the world. As we come to the end of our fascinating tour of fashion museums, it's clear that these places are more than just places to store beautiful clothes. They are places of culture that keep and celebrate the past of fashion. Every piece of clothing, from old clothes to modern haute fashion, has a story to tell about the people who wore it and the time it was made for. So, if you're interested in fashion, history, or are just plain curious, you might want to check out a fashion museum. It's a trip through time that will inspire, teach, and amaze, whether you go in person or online. Thank you for watching our fashion adventure. Subscribe and share our video. Your support helps us develop and tell more intriguing stories. Thanks for watching.